offerings ahead on Fox League throughout the evening. What a night for Rebecca Young, the captain of the Indigenous team, 37 years young. And she's back on the big stage after missing a start in the NRL Women's Premiership. So onto the field for the pre-game ceremony. It was Hilda Mariu leading the Maori ferns haka, and now they stand and wait for the Indigenous All-Stars to perform their cultural or unity dance. Well done, girls, and fantastic to see Preston Campbell on the didgeridoo. Ben Ikin, what a proud man he must be. This concept born out of his passion in 2010.
Spent the morning with Preston Campbell, and this has almost been his life's work. He has poured his heart and soul in this concept, and we just saw another demonstration of how much his creation means to so many people. We saw the Maori ferns send a message, the Indigenous All-Stars tell a story, and you could feel the history coming through the screen, couldn't you? It's just amazing. It must be an incredible feeling to be part of it.
Also with us tonight, very much part of it, Mark Gasnier, good evening. What do you enjoy about All-Stars Night, Gaz?
Good evening, Matty. How good is it to have rugby league back on the TV? Look, I think first and foremost, the representation of cultures. Benny touched on it there. But two, the coming together of the best players in the competition. And when you get that, and they haven't had time to prepare as much, you get that unstructured, natural talent shine through. And that's what I'm looking forward to tonight.
It's come a long way in a little way. The Women's All-Stars game, when it was first played in 2011, again, it was a curtain raiser to the men's extravaganza, but the gates to the ground were locked and the family and friends of the women couldn't get into nearly half-time. Well, now you can see the crowd building around them. They're shown on national television throughout Australia, New Zealand, around the world. Show us your best, ladies, and I reckon it will be something to behold, Ben.
No lock gates today, Matthew. We're in for a treat, I think. Dripping with talent both sides, and that's what we've arrived at that point. It's all about the footy now. We've had the celebration of history, of heritage, of culture, and now we're just going to witness a rugby league spectacle.
Dean Witters, Scotty Prince and Caitlin Moore, and among others, working with the Indigenous team, Rusty Matua and his team, putting the polish on the Maori Ferns as they play their part in All-Stars Night. We saw Zahara Tamara, the number 6'5'8" for the Maori All-Stars. She'll be key for them. I wonder how the nerves are. The rules, if you're wondering, they'll play 15-minute quarters. There are 18 players, unlimited interchange. And of course, there is the 40-30 kicking rule. It's a night for the Stars in Melbourne, and the women get us going. The Indigenous team kicking off, so the Maori Ferns, as they're called tonight, with the first possession. And a couple of their forwards will look to be prominent early. Rangi Peters, Ronna Peters, along with their sister now, Hilda Mariu. What a thrill for the family from Papakura to have the three girls involved on the same stage. And Crystal Rota, the number 9, jumps into that dummy half position. What sort of opening sets will the Maori provide? Good go forward so far as they set their sights on halfway. Ronna Peters, co-captain alongside Crystal Rota. And that was a good carry from her sister, Kahorangi. The completion, looking for 40-30, the variation on the NRL rule we see, and it's cleaned up at the back by the Indigenous fullback, Talia Hunter. Shakai Tungai goes it alone from dummy half. What a talent she is, a member of the Indigenous Australian soccer team previously. A kicker with both feet. She'll have goal-kicking duties for the Indigenous All-Stars as Amber Pilley finds the going tough. There are 4 Maori Ferns there to drive her backwards, 26 metres out from the goal line. Quincy Dodd happy to put it through the hands as the Indigenous girls find the middle of the field. That's tackle 4. Layla Fayoud, all the way from Bamaga, the top tip of Queensland. Lady of Torres Strait Islander heritage. There's the kick from Dodd, and it sits up nicely for the Maori Ferns, who win that territorial battle after the opening sets, Ben.
Well, the pleasing thing is the contact in the tackle has been good. First up from both sides. So too the line speed. Plenty of intensity to start the match.
Well, the Maori Ferns have the edge when it comes to experience. They have 8 players backing up from the inaugural NRL Women's Premiership. The Indigenous team only 5, and 5 of the Indigenous players are under 18 years of age. 13 of their 18 are newcomers to this Indigenous All-Stars game, so a challenge straight away for the Indigenous players given their experience in comparison with the opposites. Final play for the Maori Ferns. Zahara Tamara goes to the line and Grubbers chasing it herself, and it's cleaned up at the back. Good positioning from Talia Hunter, who works her way just beyond her 10.
It'll be interesting to see if the Indigenous All-Stars can continue to foot it fitness-wise with the Maori Ferns. Hilda Murray, who spoke of what she believed to be competitive advantage for the Ferns. They've been working hard on their fitness. Oh, high tackle there. Indigenous All-Stars will get a penalty and an easy exit out of their own half.
The referees for this one, Ziggy Pishaklasa Adamski and Belinda Slim, and that's an easy ruling for them as the tackle slips a little high. And the first penalty invites the Indigenous All-Stars to take some free ground. Mark Gasnier sideline, what's your impression of the early play?
I like it, Matty. Interesting to see Dean Witters. He's obviously instructed the Indigenous team to run a lot from dummy half. Those first two sets, they had over 6 dummy half runs. It works against this big pack of the Maori Ferns.
There's a good run from Layla Fayoud, the starting prop for the Indigenous All-Stars. Sharon McGrady keeps play going towards the right. And the Indigenous team right on halfway. Nearly 4 minutes gone of this opening quarter. And good contacts coming in from the Maori Ferns. It was led by Karangi Peters. Also involved Crystal Rota, trying to make a statement with their defence. Here's Rebecca Young, the captain. She led the Indigenous All-Stars when it was last played, 2017 in Newcastle, her hometown. The mother of 2, Rebecca Young. Good to see her back as there's an opening here. Talia Hunter finds support on the outside, and it's Tungai. Tackled really well. The ball comes free. Fantastic cover. And it's the fullback, Botil Vetty Welsh, doing the job for the Maori Ferns.
What a hit. This was great play from the All-Stars. They went down the left side of the field in fantastic shape, so they had plenty of options, and once they got their way through, it was always going to require a great hit to shut this down, and that's exactly what Vete Welsh came up with.
She was part of the Sydney Roosters setup for that NRL Women's Premiership last season. Only played the one game, that was round 1. And of course that premiership is back through the month of September again in 2019.
You'll see the influence of Scott Prince on this Indigenous All-Stars side throughout the game. He's very good at coaching shape, so players never get lazy. There are always options for the playmakers.
Had a bit of experience, didn't he? 300 NRL games from North Queensland to Brisbane, a premiership at West Tigers, the Gold Coast, and then back to Brisbane. Still playing and playing really well in the touch footy world, Scotty Prince, and I spoke to him pre-game. He's loved his week. The chance to impart some of that knowledge on the open minds of the Indigenous All-Stars.
You spoke to him. I called him 3 times this week. He wouldn't return the message.
Crystal Stowers. In fact, it's Kelly Matua playing the ball. Rota through Zahara Tamara. And now here's the kick from T.A. Haputu in behind the back 2 for the Indigenous All-Stars. It sits up in goal. Work to do for the Indigenous, and they're trapped. A goal line dropout coming the way of the Maori Ferns. What an impressive set.
Oh, great work from the Maori Ferns. They just upped the ante there. They've started fast. They've maintained their speed. And this kick is pinpoint. Albeit the bounce was a good one, but the chase needed to comply, and it did. They're in numbers to force a dropout and give themselves an extra set.
The Maori All-Stars tightening the clamps. It's been an impressive start for them as this unlimited interchange on a warm afternoon in Melbourne is used. There's a break there for Amber Carney. Let's hope it's a break and not an injury, although she is receiving some treatment. And the ball taken by Batil Vetty Welsh, who finds a willing runner and a good runner, Harata Butler. 20 metres out, perfectly positioned, the Maori All-Stars. Now Rona Peters. This is Matua.
Good run.
Within 10 metres. She's the niece of the coach, fitting if she goes over Kiari Matua, but she's certainly set them up as Peters finds her way into dummy half. Rona, here she is again. Kiari Matua. Rota, and it's put down. They let the Indigenous team off the hook. The Melbourne girl on her own stage, T.A. Haputu, drops the ball. What a let-off.
That was as much about Indigenous All-Stars defensive as anything. I mean, they threw plenty at them, the Maori Ferns, but every time they looked up, the shape of the All-Stars defence was spot on. They were getting numbers where they needed to.
Te Aroa Hapuku, or TA as she prefers to be called, lives here in Melbourne. And what a thrill to be picked to play for the Maori Ferns in her now home city. But a forgettable moment there as Rebecca Young just looks out the back and finds support that gets to the 30-metre line. Talisha Harden it was onto the ground. Here's Quincy Dodd, the kick taken on the full by Tyler Birch.
Quincy Dodd hasn't got a long kicking game. I'm not sure if going early in the tackle counts the smartest play. I'll be using up all 5 tackles.
Really good metres up the middle as the Maori Ferns find themselves 32 metres out, and now a penalty.
It's a sustained pressure now, isn't it? Indigenous All-Stars are going to have to be good again without the ball.
When you're ready, Crystal.
Ben, during the inaugural NRL Women's Premiership, the aggression and physicality was there, the game smarts was there. They ticked every box, but perhaps the area to improve is the kicking game.
Yeah.
And with the 40-30 on offer for them, there are some rewards if they can do that, the ladies. Mark Gasnier busy sideline. Amber Carney just having a left ankle treated. She's okay to return. Change of angle. Kaharangi Peters draws 3 defenders and only now goes to ground. The Maori Ferns looking to post first points in the Women's All-Stars game. Zahara Tamara towards the in goal. She's tackled just short. Around the bootlaces, it was Talisha Harden brilliantly for the Indigenous team. Another chance for the Maori. It's Kathleen Wharton. They're screaming for the ball to the left. That's the way it goes. Through Zahara Tamara, a nice long ball. Hapuku keeps it going. Numbers as they explore down the left. The Maori Ferns are in. Tyler Birch, the player who got the set going, finishes in the corner. Good enough for Ziggy Pishaklasa Adamski, and it's the Maori Ferns on the board.
The Maori Ferns just kept working them over on the right, and it just sucked in the All-Stars defence, left them just 1 number short. They tried hard to slide. The communication was good, but they just couldn't get across in cover in time. The thing I like most about that try from the Maori Ferns is that it was built across an entire set. Work them over down the right, and then when the space presented itself, get the ball there as quick as you can.
The ball movement, get it there as quick as you can, but despite the need to be quick, look at the reaction from Rusty Matua. Onto the chest, cut out ball onto the chest. It was quality.
Skill level's been amazing so far from both sides. It was on display there again. Might have been smiling. That might have been a coach's try, eh? Set play.
It looked like it. Rusty Matua cheering on as Tyler Birch goes over. We've never had an All-Stars crowd under 20,000, and there are fans in here early. We've been up above 40 when it was held at Suncorp previously. I wonder how the reaction will be in Melbourne tonight, but given the reaction and support we've seen this week at different promotions, plenty are excitedly making their way to Amy Park as Zahara Tamara, who played 4 games with the Roosters, all 4 in their grand final charge after a slow start to the Women's Premiership. She's one of 2 Gillaroos playing in this Maori Ferns lineup, her and Tasman Gray. She came to Australia as an 11-year-old from New Zealand. Zahara Tamara And here she is with a difficult first conversion attempt. She gave it a really good look. But Mark Gasnier, if that ball movement was any indication, you wouldn't mind being in the Maori Ferns back line.
Oh, I'd love it, Matty, and see the pass, who it was. Weirder. Great pass out to the edge here. Finds herself out wide. Watch this for a cutout pass from the big front rower. That's brilliant, but it was the footwork from Zahara Tamara over on the right edge. And Talisha Harden, well, I thought she'd come up with the tackle of the match so far, but it wasn't to be. And the Ferns strike the first blow.
Yeah, that pass from Kararaina Wira out there in the back line, wearing 8, but passing like she's got 6 or 7 on her back bend.
Front row sometimes 5'8", second receiver. Jack of all trades.
It's funny, the 8 and 10s don't mind jumping into the back line. I don't see many 6 or 7s willing to get in the front row.
That's cool. You know, I like that. You got multiple players with a high skill level. It means you've got more weapons.
And what a charge on the back of points, the steamroll effect.
They're in a mood, aren't they? The Maori Ferns.
Run faster, tackle harder. And why wouldn't she? Kararaina Wira playing a key role in the try and backing it up off their own goal line, pushing off the back fence.
Second marker. Second marker. Second marker.
The Maori looking really good early on. Nice change of direction again for Kahurangi Peters. Played one game with the Warriors in the NRL Women's Premiership. Tamara, they put it through their hands this time, but up quickly. Tungai does the job defensively, assisted by Quincy Dodd. Tamara, the chip kick this time, and the bounce could be telling here. The bounce is good, as it turns out, for the Indigenous All-Stars, with the clean-up 25 metres out from their goal line. The chase was impressive too from the Maori. Johnsil Totari playing a role in that. A minute 30 left before the first quarter break. Look at that for defence from the Maori. It was Rona Peters, the sisters, Rona, Kahurangi and Hilda Mariu, enjoying the occasion. They played together in 2016, I think they told Gaz, so it doesn't happen often, but good luck to them. Waiting there, unused Crystal Stowers. In fact, it was Talisha Harden. And now it finds its way for Dodd. Her kick sitting up nicely and taken well. The return, asking some questions of this Indigenous defence.
They just need to hang on here, the Indigenous All-Stars. They've got a roll on the Maori Ferns. They're full of confidence, full of running. And just looking a little tight. 30 seconds left. Can't drop off.
Middle of the ground, this robust performance from the Maori continues. Asking plenty of questions of this Indigenous defensive line. Johnsil Totari playing it. And the ball handling from Peters, impressive as the support is there as well. They are rampaging towards more points, the Maori All-Stars. Harata Butler finishing her run. Zahara Tamara through the hands for Tasman Gray. And here's Amber Carney. The end of the first quarter saves the Indigenous team. They are out on their feet. The first 15-minute period. And it's been won in terms of a 4-0 scoreline by the Maori Ferns.
Quality first 15 minutes. They were busted there down the left side. And they had to do really well to get across and shut that down, that last play, which they did, the Indigenous All-Stars. Fast pace, fast pace.
Well, if that first quarter is a glimpse of what we're going to get all night, I say bring it on. From the pre-game ceremony, the haka and the cultural dance, to some fantastic footy. The physicality never lacking when the girls go at it.
Look at those eyes.
They mean business. And there's Preston Campbell, the godfather of this Indigenous All-Stars concept. Plenty of goannas spotted in there. Cultural dance, and Rebecca Young leading her team into action, but this was the try. Look at it again.
Here's the soft hands.
Fantastic to watch, and it's Tyler Birch finishing the try, but plenty played a hand in it. And as we look at it again, it's great to have an Origin winning player beside me and yourself, Ben Ikin, 95, a Broncos premiership player in 2000. Now the host, the star host, co-host of NRL 360. When's it back?
You can say host, the other bloke's the co-host. Yeah, 4th of March, so we're going to go 4 nights. The week before the week leading into the competition starting. Preview all 16 clubs. Get through the news of the off-season, that should be fun. I see today that the chief executives of the NRL clubs all met in Melbourne and jointly have put out a statement that they need to take a strong stance on player behaviour. So I've got no doubt that will get a good going over on NRL 360, Matty.
And there might be something out of the All-Stars to celebrate and show repeatedly. The men's game coming up later this evening on Fox League. Kick-off from 8:10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. But before that, Yvonne O'Keefe and the team will set the scene for us. Andrew Voss, Kevin Walters, Mark Gasnier. I'll make sure there's no injuries sideline. I hope everyone gets through uninjured. I'm sure that's going to happen. So that game coming up later, the men's All-Stars game. The Indigenous against the Maori for the first time. We've worked our way through the NRL All-Stars to the World All-Stars, and tonight it's the Maori All-Stars against the Indigenous.
This is the concept, I think. You've got a representation of 2 Indigenous cultures, and as we've already said about this women's game, as that connection to something bigger than yourself adds this whole extra layer and context to the competition that makes it so thoroughly engaging.
Well, that break came at just the right time for the Indigenous All-Stars. I'm sure their priority in this second 15-minute quarter will be to get some ball and hang on to the ball and see if they can apply some pressure to the Maori end of the field that's been all at the southern end of Amy Park.
They're just starting. They started to lose the field position battle at the end of that first 15. They need to hang on.
The Maori Ferns armed with 63% of the ball so far. It's in their hands again as Kaharangi Peters carries strongly, continuing her first quarter. Tackled by Talisha Harden. And Rorta just drops the ball underneath for a straight runner. Caitlin Johnston it was. They established their authority up the middle really impressively so far. The Maori Ferns, Ronna Peters, having her role in this set, and look at this performance. So far she's been the player of the game. Carla Raina Wira. Soft hands but strong running. Plenty of changes in direction from the Maori All-Stars or Maori Ferns. Zahara Tamara kicks, hoping to find the ground, but instead sending it straight down to Talia Hunter.
It's a great set, a great kick, and what you'll see now is a big follow-up set in defence. Their contact has been enormous. The Maori Ferns. Let's look at some of these hits.
Terry Kane.
Another one.
Picked up and put on her back. What about the devotion from Terry Kane? When Dean Witters said, come down to Sydney for a training run, Dean actually thought she was Sydney-based. She's in Brisbane and the flight was delayed or cancelled because of wind. So Terry jumped on a bus and travelled overnight to make training. How about that? The kick from the Indigenous All-Stars down for Batil Vetti Welsh, who gets away momentarily but is now wrapped up. And there are stories like that across both teams in both the women's and men's games. Latrell Mitchell missing the World Club Challenge to play for the Indigenous All-Stars tonight. And he might just lead their pre-game dance. You'll see it on Fox League as we have a stoppage here. There's a problem for Samartha Leisha. Let's hope Samartha can get straight back up. A mother of 5 from Toowoomba. Talk about the stories. Not short of a cheer squad, quite obviously, as a mother of 5.
I hope she's all right, because the Indigenous All-Stars are going to need her. They've got this steely, hard edge, the Maori Ferns, and an advantage with respect to experience, as we see there. Alicia copping it while she's on the ground. Oh, a knee right in the cheekbone, the right side of her face. Getting to her feet now. Samantha Alicia is someone that these Indigenous All-Stars women would all look up to. So hopefully she just gets a short break, her health's okay, and she gets herself back onto the field.
From Toowoomba, which will be a focus of your world coming up this week, Ben Eichen, with the Queensland PGA Golf Championship about to start. We'll talk more about that during the next quarter break. You don't seem too nervous.
No, my expectations are very realistic, Matt.
Wait till you get onto the first. So, thankfully, Samantha walks herself from the ground. They'll do all the necessary checks and balances sideline. And once she passes those protocols, she'll come back on if she can. Rota goes through Rona Peters. Nice passing, keeping it close to the ruck, middle of the ground. And Rota has been pulled up. There's a forward pass spotted.
They're just starting to break from tackles now, the Maori Ferns. The Indigenous All-Stars can't let the offload start to mount up. Second phase, it really wears you down when you're trying to defend against it. As they get themselves on the front foot, establish momentum, they can become very, very dangerous if they're allowed to offload.
Well, Gaz has confirmed that Samantha Alicia is having an HIA sideline. I know you're an early morning person, Ben. You won't have any trouble getting up on Monday, 5:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time for the World Club Challenge. Start with the studio team, and then at 6 o'clock, kick-off. Wigan Roosters. Wigan chasing a record 5th World Club Championship. The Roosters, their 4th. And I'll follow Trent Robinson and his troop in France as they complete their preparations. You'll see it on Fox League Monday morning. Set your alarm clocks. So the Indigenous All-Stars to halfway, but only momentarily. There is no letting up in this defence. Peters and Rota forcing the Indigenous team back into their own territory, but then conceding the penalty.
That was unlucky there for the Maori Ferns. They did really well to get the Indigenous All-Stars going backwards in defence, and it's just hard to find space when your opposition is defending that well. They were set out here to the left, the All-Stars. Despite the fact you're in shape, if you're not creating that momentum through and around the ruck, then you just can't find the holes out wide.
So nearly 20 minutes gone in this game in total, and the Indigenous team has spent 70% of it in their own half. They'll need Google Maps out at this end of the ground. The Indigenous team. Finally, they get some possession, and it's McGrady finding Quincy Dodd, chiming in the fullback, Talia Hunter, a bit of room for Tungai, who runs into the tackle from Tasman Gray, and it will be called shoulder charge. I thought it was, and now it's indicated by Ziggy Peshaklasa Adamski. Look at it again. No wrapping of the arms, and that's an easy one.
So the thing for the Indigenous All-Stars is they don't need much space. They just need to hold onto the ball. They get a couple of back-to-back sets down here, you can just about guarantee points are going to follow.
Wait for the turn.
Well, here's a great opportunity. Starting the set 20 metres out, Quincy Dodd goes on and finds Kyara Neen. Part of the South Sydney setup, Kyara. Dodd just holding the pass up, now giving it through McGrady. A fumble play on allowed, now it's been ruled knock on. They were away, the Indigenous All-Stars, but the referees say, hang on girls, come back here.
It's got a bit excitable there. It looked as though a couple of the players had run the wrong route, and the confusion turned into a knock-on, and that pressure that was building all of a sudden got released. It was line ball, but ultimately it was called by the match official, and he won't be happy, Dean Witters. He knows that was a blown opportunity.
Was that pass there the one that was called forward?
They look slick on the edges, don't they? Both sides of the field.
So now they turn to defence. Amber Pilley involved in that tackle for the Indigenous All-Stars. So the only try of the game so far, scored by Tyler Birch, and now Amber Carney messes up the play the ball.
Here we go. Fatigue starting to play a role for both sides. When you get tired, you can sometimes make mistakes. Just lose your concentration a little bit in the play the ball here. Here's the mistake from Carney. Indigenous All-Stars will get the scrum feet 30 metres out from their try line.
Can they combine a bit better than they did a moment ago with that forward pass, calling a try back? Dodd back towards the scrum, towards the traffic, and nowhere to go as Crystal Vrota, the co-captain for the Maori Ferns, makes the tackle. Butler gets them going, and now they're put on their back. Hart passing for the support to go within 20 metres of the goal line. Hart again running it alone, opening up both sides of the field. The Indigenous All-Stars closing in on points. The straight run is a good run. T.A. Hapuku making the stop, and it's Shaylee Bentz playing the ball. Still they attack. The Indigenous All-Stars get oh so close, and again Kauraina Wira comes up with a big play.
Sharon McGrady spotted the space, but Wira too good. Defending on the edge, attacking on the edge.
Sharon McGrady, look at that cut down. Webber gets there, but it was mainly Wira doing the tackling, and McGrady carrying a famous rugby league name, the niece of Ewan McGrady, former Wests and Bulldogs NRL star and Rothman's medalist.
What a player he was, Ewan McGrady. I played with Ricky McGrady, actually at the Gold Coast Seagulls. Just as talented.
Well, Sharon McGrady's dad, Jason, sadly passing away about a decade ago, and Sharon, a really nice touch, dedicating her rugby league career to Dad Jason. The late brother of Ewan McGrady is Zahara Tamara. Nearly gets away. Tackled 5 short of halfway. Rota, little fumble. But it's taken now by Tasman Gray. One of those Gillaroos appearing for the Maori All-Stars. Eligible for both teams.
That hurts. That really hurts.
Great
they were struggling a bit themselves, the Maori Ferns, but they'd got themselves out to halfway, as we can see here. It's from the Maori All-Stars watching on. Kevin Proctor there, intensely interested. That's because it's an engaging contest, but now the Maori Ferns 40 metres out with another great opportunity to go further in front.
Tohu Harris just taking a seat, listening to his beats. You like the concept, don't you? Indigenous v Maori. And it will unfold later tonight on Fox League. We go through the lineups and you think this is compulsive viewing. So many exciting players on one field. Amy Park in Melbourne, where the Maori Ferns are closing in on their second try. Up the middle of the ground. That's better defence from the Indigenous girls. It was Fayouj just standing tough on the spot. And now it's put down. It's the first mistake I can remember Kauraina Wira making as she ran off T.A. Haputu.
I think she goes through if she holds the ball here. It was a great short pass, and they were attacking really quick with a stack of speed. Just a good straight run. And she's proven down that left edge before that she can bust tackles. Wira's having a huge game.
Ben Iken, more importantly, we have survived crocodile-infested waters in Darwin. We've survived tough, world-class golf courses in Melbourne together. How are you enjoying being back in the commentary box with me?
It's fantastic. Yeah, I've missed the commentary. Haven't been in one for, must be 5 years now.
Position vacant, NRL 360 host, or not quite?
No. I'll never give that up.
Okay. Well, it's great to have you back here. I never hear the name Ben Ikin without thinking of that stand-up in the shallow water in the Northern Territory.
That was a stupid idea, but I followed you because you were the leader.
You survived. Look at that contact coming in from the Maori Ferns on a hard-running Layla Fayoud.
Just hasn't relented, has it, from the Maori Ferns? The line speed and contact in the tackle.
Fayoud from Croc Country up at Bamaga. Here's Amber Pilley. Part of that Broncos premiership team that impressed us all so magnificently last season through September, shining on grand final day at Sydney Olympic Park. Final tackle for the Indigenous All-Stars as Quincy Dodd looks to the outside and kicks towards open field where it's taken well. High on the chest but convincingly by the Maori Ferns. And Mark Gasnier sideline, how is it?
It's great. It's been a high-quality 27 minutes. It's just a go-forward of the Kiwi Ferns. You think of Wera, how good she has been, but the craft of Zahara Tamara off the back of it. The Indigenous, they've got to be really smart about it. We saw dummy half running at the start of the match. They need to do that and kick early and turn the Ferns around because it's unlimited interchange. The Indigenous will play into their hands if they keep making errors.
Another big body storming onto the ball. Kelly Matua. Kelly Hetina in full, but she prefers the abbreviated Kelly Matua. The niece of the coach, Rusty Matua. Here's an opening. Crystal Rota explored and it shut quickly. A good tackle made. Zahara Tamara, the grubber this time. Her kicking options are varied, aren't they?
Yeah, not the right choice there from Tamara. Probably needed to go high and wide. They looked a bit short out there on the right edge, did the Indigenous All-Stars. Just rolled that one straight into the hands of an opposition player.
Final 2 minutes of the opening half. As Terry Kane finds the going tough. She was performing at some of the Indigenous carnivals when she was spotted by the powers that be when it comes to this Indigenous All-Stars team. We've mentioned her application travelling from Brisbane on bus. Well, she just rolled the dice at some of the Koori carnivals and did enough. The right winger for the Indigenous All-Stars. As that kick, it's a good one, floating downfield significantly and turning the Maori All-Stars around. Batil Vetty Welsh had a long way to go, and now she's coming back at them. Vetty Welsh, what a retrieval and what a return.
They're on the front foot now, the Maori Ferns. That was a great run from Vetty Welsh. They just, like they did the end of the first quarter, need to hang on in defence. They look a little tired, a little ragged to the Indigenous All-Stars.
Less than a minute left. The Indigenous team have the Maori Ferns where they want them. Other end of the field for the time being. Mid-set, 40 seconds left. And steaming onto the ball. Look at this run. Hapuku. Hapuku passing, it goes through Johnsul Totari. And Terry Kane defensively does enough.
Got a play back through the middle here.
Geneva Weber. That's the way they're looking. Crystal Rota towards the middle of the ground, still going Rota. And that will be the end of that set. 7 seconds to go. Rota, her dad, the blue singlet trainer for the Maori Ferns, Roger Rota. But it's the Maori Ferns hitting half-time with a 4-0 lead.
Well, it is the Maori Ferns in control. They only lead 4-0 over the Indigenous women, but plenty still to come. After the break, Michael Annis and Sam Brebner take you through all of the first half highlights. You're watching the Harvey Norman All-Stars on Foxlet.
Your Schoko Leibniz won't save you now, Kassmeyer.
Schoko moments, detective.
With dark chocolate and crunchy mint pieces, it's not just a biscuit, it's a Balzen.
Bring the Bismarck to life. Reconstruct one of the most powerful battleships of all time. With die-cast metal hull and electrical components, you control the Bismarck's lights, sound, and motion. Each week follow step-by-step instructions to build the Bismarck. Battleship Bismarck, issue 1, just $1.99.
Determination to conquer all my ambitions, despite all the conditions. In light of my past decisions, made it to this position, and so my disposition, not seeing no limits, killing the competition. Yeah, I'm a beast, now I'm unleashed.
The new Huawei Mate 20 Pro, faster and smarter for longer.
I used to book my hotel room on those travel sites, but there was always a catch. Like somehow you'd wind up getting less. But now I book at Hilton.com and I get all these great perks. I got to select my room from the floor plan.
Very nice.
You know I'm good at picking stuff. Free Wi-Fi, laptop by the pool is a bold choice, and the price match guarantee.
How do you know all this? Are you like some magical Hilton fairy?
It's just here on the Hilton app. Just available to the public, so. Book at Hilton.com and get the Hilton price match guarantee. If you find a lower rate, we match it and give you 25% off that stay.
We can't find you the house of your dreams.
Morning. Hi, guys.
Who is that? Is that a estate agent?
Or make the agent less enthusiastic. The garden any bigger?
South facing? Yeah.
Or help with the neighbours. But at NatWest, we can take the pain out of the paperwork. With the first ever paperless mortgage application. We're always thinking of new ways to make banking easier. NatWest, we are what we do.
Suspension's lifted. You being deployed?
Malaysia.
Your people lost a nuke?
This is Russian business, not yours. We're on this.
You're on it quietly.
Let's move!
Looking for a stolen nuclear missile.
We will not start a war over this. Love, you really don't know us, do you?
Brand new Strike Back Silent War starts the 28th of February on Sky One.
Good to see you, John. My husband is joining me here tomorrow. I will give you $10 million to take him out on your boat and drop him in the ocean for the sharks.
You just got so many holes in my memory. I don't even remember how the hell I got here. Sometimes we do bad things for good reasons.
You're not right in your mind.
Serenity, in cinemas and on Sky Cinema March 1st.
The wonderful All-Stars doubleheader. It is the Indigenous and Maori women in action at Amy Park. A spirited start to this cultural collision, and so far it is the Maori Ferns who hold a slight advantage. They lead 4-0 at half-time in the first of, as we said, two great games coming up on Fox League. Your Fox League experts, Michael Ennis and Sam Bremner. All the effort, all the energy, all the line speed, all the intensity seems to be coming from the Maori Ferns at the moment, Sammy.
Yeah, it certainly does. They're sort of tumbling their way over the Indigenous girls, and it's really getting on top of them. You can see they're tiring out. I think the Indigenous girls need to start sticking to their game plan and not trying to beat the Maori girls at their own game plan. Yeah. They need to stop going back at them through the middle of the park, and they need to start spreading the ball, because that's when they're looking really dangerous.
Work smarter, not harder, because you don't want to take on the size of this Maori girls pack. They are unbelievable, and they are really up for this game. Mick, let's take a look at some of these first half highlights. They shifted the ball out so quickly for first points.
Yeah, they did. It was a really smart drive on, because they played direct. They've come to this contest looking for that willingness and that collision, and they did that beautifully. And on the back of that, they created some beautiful space out to the left-hand side, and it was Tyler Birch that got on the first try for the Maori Ferns, and it was a lovely piece of play, to be honest. As I said, they came, they played fast, they played direct, they were generating a lot of momentum and ruck speed, and on the back of that, they caught the Indigenous girls well short on that right-hand side, and a lovely sweeping play out to the left. And as I said, Tyler Birch, well, she needs no invitation to the try line.
The Indigenous women, they almost looked a little bit startled. They started to spring to life as we got closer to the break, but it was like they were a little bit overawed by the occasion, Sammy.
Yeah, and I think you find that a lot in games like these. There's a lot of emotion at the start, and it's almost as though they get drained by the emotion, and it just takes them a little while to find their feet. So I think the second half are going to be a lot better football. Not that the first half wasn't, but I think they'll be a bit more collected this second half.
They need to move the Maori Maoris around. What they've done, they've played you spot on, they've played right into their hands. They've come for this collision contest, and at the moment, the Aboriginal girls, the Indigenous girls, are trying to match that power with them, and they're just getting physically dominated. But when they've been able to hold that ruck and hold the centre of their defence and move the ball with that speed that they've got on the edges, they've actually really troubled them. This was some of the big hits that we saw in the opening stages of the contest, and it was ferocious. It really was, Sammy.
Absolutely, and I think we're looking good, the Indigenous girls, when we're sort of spreading it here, when Shaq goes out wide. But yeah, we need to stop going up the middle of the park and maybe use our numbers a little bit more. We're going one off a little bit, like the run just there. We need to go in numbers a lot more, and that will be a bit more of a threat to the Maori Ferns. Often in these contests, the raw emotion at the start of the haka can take its toll on the New Zealanders, in a sense, and we've seen Australia be able to sap them of energy, but this is played right into their hands in the opening half, in the sense that they've been very one out, the Indigenous girls, a lot of dummy half running, playing right into that centre where the power game is for the New Zealanders. They need to move the ball early, and Scotty Prince will know that. We saw him working. He loves that attacking shape, that touch football style. So we'll start to see that evolve as we did in that second quarter.
Well, a great second half coming up at Amy Park. You are watching the 2019 All-Stars right here on Fox League. And coming up a little bit later, we talk to the man who created the All-Stars concept, Preston Campbell.
Part of All-Stars, for me, is about inspiring Indigenous people to want more for themselves. You know, we talk about others, or non-Indigenous people, having to understand who we are and support us in trying to get through this, you know, connect with us and understand us. But for me, it's more important that we understand who we are.
Can't always tell why your pet's got the blues. That's why More Than Pet Insurance comes with Vet Phone, a 24-hour pet advice line. Man, that cat can play. More than. We do more.
We start the day with a Colombian, a Guatemalan, or a piping hot Costa Rican. And a Danish to go. Our heroes hail from Chile, Argentina, Brazil, and often Belgium.
We live on a wonderful little lump of land in the middle of the sea. But we are not an island. We are part of something far, far bigger.
Vauxhall Crosslandettes. Less raw. Get real.
At Expedia, you can book your flight, hotel, car hire, and activities all in one place. Everything you need to go. Expedia. Atoll protected.
He's my data self. Hello. We met at Experian Years. I help him with financial decisions.
Find out how your data self can help you make better financial decisions at Experian.
Alexa, dim the lights. Okay. Oh, no, Dad, I need your help.
What have you done?
Burnt the duck.
That's a duck? What do you have in that cabinet?
Some spaghetti.
Okay, chop up some garlic. Your mom cooked duck for me once.
Did she burn it?
Of course she did.
Of course she did.
Now it's beautiful. There you go.
How do I look?
Perfect.
Thanks, Dad.
What's his name?
Dad. Alexa, hang up.
Sky Store. 4 good reasons to stay in this February.
They're moving. Sonny, they're just gummy bears. You don't believe in the boogeyman? You should.
Till we meet again.
You're a legend, my friend.
We're all legends.
Stay in with the latest movies this February in Sky Store.
smashed away for 6. They've out-batted, out-bowled, out-thought England.
After a series to forget, can England get back to winning ways in the ODIs?
Magnificent. Brilliantly done by Joe Root. Best 100. They truly are a remarkable side at the moment.
Will the world number ones lay down a marker against the Windies?
And that is Chris Gale at his best.
England's 5-match ODI series, Beat the Windies, starts Wednesday, live on Sky Sports Cricket.
With that 4-point deficit to bridge, as they are led into the second half by Layla Fayoud. She's been strong for them in the first half. And they'll hope for a bit more ball and a bit more time in enemy territory than we saw them enjoy in the first half, Ben Eichen.
Yeah, if they get themselves some quality possession, good field position.
Here's a break and here's a great chance for the Indigenous All-Stars. Their best play of the game, open territory, and they were cut down. It was Candy Kennedy racing away before the cover arrived.
Runs like that'll help, Matt.
They need that and a bit more. So they find themselves 22 metres out.
That was on the edge, that pass.
They almost overrun it. It was Talisha Harden who had to stop in her run. There's no stopping here. The ball outside. The Indigenous All-Stars jumping back at the angle to score. Shakaya Tungai crashes over to ignite the Indigenous All-Stars oh so early in the second half. From the right-hand side of the field, back to the left, where the shack attack was waiting, Ben.
Not dissimilar to what the Maori Ferns did in the first half. Here's the break. Just a fantastic run that set up wonderful field position. Off the back of this, there was a couple of plays that settled things down, and then you know the All-Stars got the sense that there was space down the left, so they got the ball there. Beautiful hands, eyes up footy. They engaged the opposition defence, just straightened up the attack, and that's what created the overlap. Wonderful team try.
Amber Pilley playing her role well too, just holding the pass up before Shakaya Tungai jumped back to beat a couple of defenders and just improve her kick a little as we look at it again.
Just the old-fashioned draw and pass. A couple of times over. I think there was only the one block play, not too much structure. It was just simple, see the space, get the ball there as best you can.
So, Shakaya Tungai, the try scorer, who was part of St George Illawarra's premiership campaign last season, played all 3 games for the Dragons. As I mentioned, an Indigenous soccer player previously. And she can kick with both feet, but today she's using, I suspect, her preferred right foot. Tungai from out near the sideline, still bathed in sunshine on a beautiful warm afternoon in Melbourne. She gives it a really good look and hits an upright to leave us locked 4-all. Sideline Mark Gasnier.
Shakaya Tungai, she's been great tonight. Play too, she's been really good in providing a quick play the ball. You saw how much work she had to do there then to finish the try. A quick summary, Team Winners will be very, very happy with that. He wasn't worried about chasing points. He knew they could score points, but he wanted a bit more width in their passing to move this big Kiwi Ferns pack around. On the Ferns, on the other hand, they were ecstatic with the line speed in defence, but he told his edges to be wary, and that's proof right there.
Gaz is spot on. I think the message from Witters and the experience of our co-commentator would be invaluable in this second half for the Indigenous All-Stars. They can't go one out through the middle against the Maori Ferns. They'll get dominated and they need players in motion, multiple options. That's how they'll break them down. The one-out footy just won't cut the mustard.
Candy Kennedy just playing the ball. She was the one who made the break, then returned the kick-off. The Sydney Rooster, who played in that grand final game last season. She's been really good to start the second half. Give it back to Candy Kennedy. As we see Tegan Hartz also impress us in this third quarter. 3 or 4 15-minute quarters. There's a knock-on by the Indigenous All-Stars. They can't complete the set after points. That golden rule broken. Playing the ball, it was Amber Carney. And now Weber. Rota keeps the ball going the same way for Hapuku, who gets the ball away. A chance here for the Maori. Here's a big show for the Maori Ferns with Jonsel Totari crossing in the corner. Belinda Sleeman wants to confer and she'll send it upstairs. We will go to the video referee.
We've got no try. Confirm held up, please.
Jared Maxwell, Henry Perinara waiting in the bunker. And for the first time in 2019, over to you, bunker.
Yeah. Look at the numbers that the Indigenous All-Stars getting the tackle here. Tatari, obviously very strong. Had to be to get herself across the line, but will she be strong enough to ground the ball? No, I think hands slip off the ball before it's grounded. And there'll be nowhere near enough evidence based on what we've seen so far to overrule what was decided on field. Great work, Indigenous All-Stars.
When they were dominated in terms of possession and territory in the first half, it was their urgency in defence that kept them in the game. And it's on show again early in this third quarter.
Based on the live decision of no try, there's insufficient evidence to suggest that the ball has hit the ground. However, the hair of the ball carrier goes touching goal. We have a decision.
And here's some more good news for the Indigenous All-Stars. Samantha Leisha with that head knock in the first half has passed to HIA. This will be red light for the Maori Ferns. And the scramble, the desire of the Indigenous All-Stars on show again.
Oh, look, it's been there the whole game, and the scramble saved them, to be honest with you. They needed to complete that set off the back of the try. They didn't. They gave the Maori Ferns a chance. And look, this is a great piece of play here from the Ferns. The All-Stars met it with their energy and effort in defence, and now they've just got to settle themselves down, get themselves back into the game and get up the other end of the field.
She looked destined to score. Totari, instead it's the Indigenous All-Stars crossing their 30-metre line. A good crowd building at Amy Park before the men's All-Stars to follow later tonight. Layla Fayoud. She works in the mines, has taken time off to be part of this week and the Indigenous celebration.
Good run.
I like what Hannah Hollis called it, a cauldron earlier on tonight. A cauldron of culture, I think it was. As the Maori Ferns keep it alive and keep it in the field of play.
And this is where you can start to lose your rhythm. It's clear now the Indigenous All-Stars are finding space as we see their male brothers there watching on and getting themselves ready for the big fixture. Latrell Mitchell tipped to lead the war dance, is that right? Play the role that Greg Inglis has in previous years. Tell you what, there's some speed between those two there.
And that's a good choice, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
No GI, so Trell steps up having said, you know what, Roosters, can I really celebrate my culture, my people? I want to be part of this Indigenous celebration.
But back to the women's game, and Indigenous All-Stars have just lost their rhythm. There's no doubt now that they're finding some space, but they can't get too excitable and start to get loose with the football.
Totari. Again, proving a handful, isn't she? Matua still going. Kelly Matua. A couple of Indigenous players around each ankle. Amber Pili lucky not to be penalised for that second effort in the tackle. They fan out back to the left, but keep it close to the ruck for the time being. Plenty of wrestle in that tackle with Layla Fayoud. It was Amber Carney giving no room to get up. And now Harata Butler still going. 12 metres out, final play. Here come the Maori Ferns, perfectly positioned. It's Crystal Rota. Her pass finds Karangi Peters, but again, the defence is up to the job, and one of the littlest players on the field, Quincy Dodd, has come up with a big play.
She has. It's simple but effective from the Maori Ferns. Ball play drifts across the field and big body straightens into the hole. It's hard to contain. They use it on both sides of the ruck. But again, the Indigenous All-Stars are up to the challenge.
Well, here we are. What is it? February 15 at Amy Park in Melbourne. Less than a month down the track. Thursday, March 14. The NRL Premiership start here when the Melbourne Storm host Brisbane. The start of the post-Billy Slater era at the Storm and the start of the Anthony Seibold era at the Broncos. You'll see it on Fox League. The countdown is on, less than a month to go. As the big hits keep coming well before the NRL Premiership.
Wirra is having the game for all games. That was a great shot.
If there's been a better player on the field, I haven't spotted her. Karolaina Wirra setting up the first try. Defensively rock solid. She's been fantastic. This is Tyler Birch, the only try scorer for the Maori Ferns. In fact, the 2 5s are the only try scorers, Birch and Tungai. The 2 left wingers. Rota finds Karangi Peters on the charge. Straight into the grasp of Rebecca Young, the Indigenous captain. She admitted there is fire in the belly after she was overlooked for the NRL Women's Premiership. She's back on an elite stage tonight, Rebecca Young, defending middle of the ground. An opportunity as they create numbers to the left and get the ball away. It's Wirra waiting, releasing, and now Totari. She disappears beneath a mountain of Indigenous defenders.
Some offloads there, some good footwork. It was a little unstructured, so it was hard to predict what was coming, but again, the scramble from the Indigenous All-Stars has been magnificent all game. It's generally the best sign of enthusiasm. It's not about the tackles you drop off or the tackles you miss, it's about your preparedness to cover for your teammate that makes the error. And they're across there in droves.
There have been plenty of players driven backwards and slammed on their back in this one, and it continues. As Lena Nona Bush then can't complete the play the ball, so they gift the Maori Ferns some fantastic position here.
Was that a knee or was that a head knock, a little wobbly? That looks wobbly to me.
Well, if that's the replay, Benny, that is a definite HIA.
Yeah.
Little wobbly. Where's the ball? Which ball is it? How about I just tread over the top of it?
Either way, it's been ruled to be a mistake. And this relentless attack from the Maori Ferns will continue. Just watch for this play, this pet play. The playmaker just...
Down the short side. Batil Vetti Welsh goes within 10 metres. Now they fan out to the right. And it's Weber. Still standing within 5 metres. Rotha tells us which way it is going, but they keep it close to the ruck again. A bit of second phase here after the offload. Crystal Rota just in front of the uprights. Now they look for some width and some room. The Maori Ferns wrapped up one-on-one. What a tackle. Brilliant play from the Indigenous All-Stars. Still they've got to defend. Zahara Tamara plays it quickly. Rota back to the left, and look at this defence. It's like grand final day. The Indigenous All-Stars fired up on their own goal line and doing the job.
Look, this is a great blend of smarts and energy. Some couple of really good decisions there in defence to shut down the Ferns attack. But then second to that, you just look at the number of players they're getting into the tackle. The Indigenous All-Stars. It's brilliant.
A head clash here that leaves Crystal Rota on the ground, but as we looked at that attack from the Maori Ferns in replay, the tackle of the set from the Indigenous All-Stars had to be from Tungai, one-on-one. A great stop.
Coming in off a wing. She knew it was a tackle that needed to be made, or it's a try to the Maori Ferns.
All the momentum disappeared with that tackle, and there's the head clash. And down goes Crystal Rota.
Didn't she go down? It looked fairly innocuous. Where is it coming here? It's a friendly
there.
fire there, yeah. Ouch.
Harder Butler just getting a bit too close to her number 9, Crystal Rota, and that's the result. A big egg on the cheek. And there is Crystal Rota being accompanied off the ground by Dad Roger, an Otahuhu leopard who was part of the Auckland rep scene, played for the New Zealand Maori actually, so
right?
Dad and daughter to represent
That's pretty special,
Maori culture. How good. And Crystal, of course, was nominated as a Dally M medalist for the women's game last season. That award went most deservedly to Brittany Brearley, but well done, Crystal Rota, for what she's done in the women's game so far. The co-captain with Ronna Peters in this lineup. Sahara Tamara shows she can get tough in defence as well, dragging Terry Kane back towards her own goal line. Here's Rebecca Young. Staying on the tackle, it was Ronna Peters. Tamaya Kelly signs, fighting to get back to her feet. So the kick and chase from the Indigenous All-Stars, they put it high, but Batil very well. She's had a rock-solid game with the offload here for Crystal Stowers. And that's tackle 1, just a metre short of halfway. Now Birch. A first half try scorer. We are locked at 4. Just over 90 seconds left before the third quarter break. Now Totari. Plenty of involvement for John Zal. Middle of the ground now, Hilda Mariu.
Look for the straight run from the big body on the edge. Either side of the ruck here from the Ferns.
It comes to Ronna Peters, who goes out the back for Hapuku. And TA is stopped. 21 metres out, last play for the Maori Ferns. Peters kicks and chases. It goes into the in goal. It picked up on the fly. And still, the Indigenous All-Stars run with it. What a return.
Is that Shakaya Tungai again?
It was.
Wow, she's having one hell of a game. In defence, and with the ball. Fleet of foot and busy. You know, keeps herself in the contest.
Well, her first aim there was a clean pickup. She did that effortlessly, and all of a sudden was thinking, I'm going distance. I want to race away here. That took a good tackle. Oh. There's another one. The head rocks back. Big contact on Lena Nona Bush.
It's just relentless, isn't it?
It was Ronna Peters and Harata Butler levelling the Indigenous All-Stars runner. You cannot take your eye off the defenders for a moment. Tungai kicks straight down to Tyler Birch. And that is the end of the third. It is tight at Amy Park in the Women's All-Stars Exchange. 1 try each, locked at 4 with 15 minutes to play. Indigenous Maori for all.
I'm not seeing things, am I? It's like the intensity of this match in the first 5 minutes has not fallen away one iota. The heaviness of the contact in defence, line speed, the support play, the offloads, just the overall energy in the game, it just hasn't tapered off.
You're not seeing things. Tackles late in that third quarter as if they were returning the kick-off to the game. The highlights will show you that the girls have been putting on a show from start to finish. Here's the
try from the first half to the Maori Ferns.
Yeah, that was the first try of the game. That was in the opening half. We're at 3 20-metre zone. It is just a cramp for McGrady, so they're trying to free her of that trouble. Have they got the pickle juice sideline or something similar? Get some salt into the bloodstream.
Oh, that's unlucky.
A mistake and a big one.
Kerry Matua, I believe, has been as good as Wirra in this match. Just the power and force she's been exhibiting through the middle, it's just unbelievable. Holds onto that and generally gets a quick play of the ball, but not in that instance. Probably needed that, the Indigenous All-Stars. They looked like they were building towards something, the Maori Ferns.
10.5 to play. 1 try each. Even though it's low scoring, it's fair to say that the quality has been there.
Listen, this has not felt like a 4-all match.
No. Really strong break from Candy Kennedy. Sticks in the minds. The ball movement for both tries to Tyler Birch and Shakaya Tungai. Some of the tackles never ceasing to amaze. We shouldn't be surprised, and there's another one on Layla Fayoud. On cue from the Maori Ferns.
Bit of anger there from Kerry Matua over that drop ball coming out. Here we go. Oh, left shoulder just rocks the head. I felt that up here.
And now the kick from the Indigenous All-Stars. It appeared to be knocked on, but play will continue. It's been retrieved by Shaylee Bent, who did really, really well amidst all those bodies to gather cleanly in the eyes of the referees. So Maguire passes for Tungai, who kicks across the ground. Amber Pilley gets there on the full and takes the final tackle.
Yeah, that was a clever play from the Maori Ferns. Just let Pilley take the ball. Don't do anything stupid. You join the contest in the end, there's the risk in defence that you end up knocking on and giving the opposition another set of 6. So good result for the Maori Ferns.
I mentioned the variations as we look at Crystal Rota nursing that egg on the cheek. The 15-minute quarters, the 40-30 rule, the 18 players with unlimited interchanges, and another part of that is no golden point, Ben, so it's no use waiting until full time.
No.
Still a stack of time to play with 9 minutes left. I'm sure they're not thinking field goal now, or are they?
Well, here's the thing, despite all the line breaks and the open space that we've seen throughout the match, we've only had the 2 tries. So getting across the line has proven difficult. So maybe a 1-point advantage, even if it is 6, 7, 8 minutes out from full time, mightn't be a stupid idea.
Well, they're at the wrong end of the ground to think about that for the time being, the Maori Ferns. They'll look to build a good set and explore their options at the back end of it. Crystal Rota running herself out of dummy half.
Rota has terrorised the Indigenous All-Stars.
She's been really effective as Geneva Webber weaves her way upfield.
Another good run.
Over halfway in enemy territory now. The Maori Ferns as Wirra crashes forward.
Great tackle. Good run, even better hit.
Michaela Maguire involved in that. Shaylee Bent also putting her body in front of the much bigger ball runner. And now Crystal Stowers. A really difficult week for Crystal on the family front. Our thoughts are with her and her family. And it's a credit to her to be out there applying herself to a game at rugby league. Charged down, not picked up, knocked on with open territory in front of her. And it's opportunity missed for Kyara Neem. She'd done the hard work. In fact, it was Samantha Leisha, I think, with the ball on her fingertips.
It just looked like it was going to bounce up at the last moment. We'll see here. This is such a difficult decision to make in the live concert. Oh, she reached out for it, and it was just beyond the fingertips.
It was Samantha Leisha.
Could feel her pain, couldn't you?
The borders needed to be a bit higher as Rota now drops it. The toll of a tough All-Stars game starting to show. Quincy Dodd, just 18 years of age, Quincy.
Talia Hunter getting right under the ball there. That hit on Rota.
The Indigenous All-Stars looking for territory as Talia Hunter takes the tackle. Hilda Mariu was the defensive player on show for the Maori Ferns. Now Caitlin Johnston, the youngest player in this Indigenous lineup, maybe the youngest on the field. In jumper 12 for the Indigenous All-Stars.
They just need to start moving them around a bit, the Indigenous All-Stars. A couple of changes in direction. If they get to the end of the set, make the kick.
But very well, she has been really good at the back for the Maori Ferns. This is Totari passing and finding her fellow centre, Amber Carney. Part of the Warriors in the NRL Women's Premiership. She played with the Kiwi Ferns as well, the number 4 playing the ball. That was last year, 2018. Maori are looking to get involved as the Indigenous All-Stars defend with 12 players on the field. Now Rota, no doubt aware of that. And the signal from the trainer of the Indigenous All-Stars is stop the game. So concern for the injured player. And I think it's Layla Fayoud in back play. Here's how the injury happened. Just a fend to the face. Straight across the bridge of the nose, and it is Fayoud who has stayed down.
They didn't see it close enough, but sometimes the other risky run there is copping a finger in the eye. She's pointing at her throat now. It's hopefully she gets to her feet, gets back into the game. Appears as though she's going to come from the field. Five minutes, 40 seconds remaining.
Congratulations to Layla, applauded by her teammate. She's had a memorable All-Stars game. And it looks like she'll be able to shake off any problems she's picked up in that contact. Nothing too serious there. So some fresh legs onto the ground as Amber Pilley looks ready to go, doesn't she? Rebecca Young, the captain of this Indigenous team, just checking on her injured player before heading back into her defensive corridor. The Maori Ferns locked at 4 with the Indigenous All-Stars. What's the game breaker here? The groan there from Ben Eichen was because of a possible, maybe definite forward pass. Last play, Maori Ferns. Hapuku kicking high across field. And it's put down by the Indigenous All-Stars. This could be play on. Amber Carney still going. And the tackle count restarts. It was touched. Golden possession here for the Maori Ferns. Rota out of dummy half. Can she get to ground for what could be the All-Stars winner? Crystal Rota, the co-captain, comes up with a co-captain's knock.
What a star. Seriously. Best player on the field today. Smart, energetic, and has a great sense for the moment. And she owned this one. Shakaya Tungai did not deserve this. Has had such a good game. Threw herself at the ball. Knew how important it was to be up there and amongst it. Came up with the error. And then Crystal Rota spotted the smallest of spaces as she's been doing all game. Got herself across the try line for what is it, a very telling try.
Played all 3 games last September for the Warriors. She'll be back there again in 2019 in a leadership role. As I mentioned, her famous footy dad Roger, part of this Maori Fern setup. So a success for father and daughter right there on screen, as it turns out.
He's got that ability that the great modern dummy halves do. Cameron Smith, I think, started it. It's, you know, we call it eyes up footy, but every time they go into the play the ball, when they're in attack, they're scanning the opposition defence. to see where the opportunities lie. As long as their teams are in shape, more often than not, they will make the right choice, whether it's run, pass, go to the numbers, whatever it may be. And she took the right choice again there.
Zahara Tamara trying to kick the Maori All-Stars clear by 6. 8-4. That's the assignment for Zahara. Gives it a good look. Zahara Tamara just bringing it back across the face. Still time for the Indigenous All-Stars, Mark Gasnier.
Is there what? I'll tell you what, but Crystal Rorter, no wonder she was so close to being the Dally M medalist in 2018. Benny mentioned smart, energetic, well, not to mention tough. You saw the big shiner underneath her right eye. She went off. She did not want to stay out of this game. Pleaded to go straight back on. They put her on, and she's picked her times when to run. But I tell you what, do not write off the Indigenous All-Stars. They showed when they're prepared to shift this ball wide, they create opportunities. It's going to be a great finish.
And Gaz, with a view to the rest of the night, there is a good atmosphere building down there.
A really good one. I just had the Indigenous All-Star men's behind me, and that was coincidentally when the Indigenous All-Stars women's were defending their line, and you should have seen the passion they showed. I think it's a sign of what's to come tonight.
Can't wait for that one later this evening. You'll see it on Fox Footy. Andrew Voss, Kevy Walters, Gaz is hanging around as well.
As long as you don't refer to Benny Eichen as an athlete again.
It wasn't me, it was his golf trainer, Matty Guyett. I'm with you, Gaz.
Does he wear glasses?
Kerry Matua playing the ball just into Indigenous territory. Now, Harata Butler, who's been effective in this second half. And there it is again, the offload for Haputu. Teo Haputu playing the ball. Rota, Zahara Tamara. On it goes now for Crystal Stowers. She gets the ball away. Kevin Matua. The carries and runs for Matua in this game, phenomenal. Rota called by Tamara. She wants to kick in behind the defence and coming through to pick it up. The Indigenous All-Stars with 2 minutes 50 to play. Still have time. This is Bentz trying to bend the line, but if the Maori Ferns hang on, the defence will be a key part to it, as you see it again. Harata Butler throwing herself at the Indigenous All-Stars runner. And it was Talia Hunter stopped on the spot. Wouldn't a compilation of big hits in this game make good viewing?
Yeah. R-rated.
They'll get a couple more sets, the Indigenous All-Stars, but they want to find enemy territory as Tungai again kicks across the ground. It puts it straight on the chest of Jonsel Totari.
Just not sure if the teammates were ready for that. Here's the big hit from Butler. Yeah. We've seen that numerous times across this match. Just the timing and the contact from the Maori Ferns, particularly the bigger bodies, has just been spot on.
Great execution, throwing her body, making contact, middle of the chest, arm wrapping around.
But just to adjust to mid-run, you know, so that the balance some of these bigger bodies show, to be able to shift as the opposition player moves across the field and still make the contact right in the sweet spot.
So players cramping up for both teams now. We've already seen players forced off with cramp. I said it's warm. It's not that hot in Melbourne this afternoon, is it?
No.
Not enough salt in the diet, girls.
Maybe.
A few pickles on the hamburgers for lunch.
Is that your theory?
Yeah. Works for me, Ben. I don't cramp up much.
Yeah, I won't try it.
I want you to have some pickles Thursday morning. A long and arduous day ahead of you.
So minute 43 to go. Maori Ferns will probably take this down to under the minute mark. I'd say go for the repeat set to close out the match. So Indigenous All-Stars are going to have to hope and pray for the mistake. But if they only get that 4 tackles at the back end of the match, well, then they just cannot go one out. They need to throw the ball around. They've got the skill, they've got the speed. So if they get one more chance, they need to make best use of it.
Zahara Tamara forced from the field as Rona Peters comes on as her replacement. The Maori Ferns ahead by 4 points, 90 seconds to play in the Women's All-Stars game. The execution and game management from Crystal Rota prominent in this second half. Here's Rona Peters out for Vetty Welsh. The last play for the Maori Ferns. It will come 20 metres out from the Indigenous goal line. Peters kicks high across the field into that roll. The ball knocked on. It's there for the Maori Ferns, and diving over to claim the try, it is Amber Carney.
Jared, I've got tackle 6.
He's going to check it.
I have no try. Looking to confirm a knock-on from Maoris in the contest there.
Yeah, I think there might be a double knock-on. Was the first one from the Indigenous All-Stars?
Leaders onside.
Goes backwards here off the Indigenous All-Stars. I don't think it... That's backwards. All right.
There's your knock on.
Yep. Scrum feed to the Indigenous All-Stars is what I think the ruling will be here. So no try. So they're going to have a chance. At least that's my view at this point.
Ben Eichen, if you could run out there, wind back the clock with the number 6 jersey on, who are you angling the ball to go the best part of 90 metres?
We have a decision.
I think the left edge of the Indigenous All-Stars has been most dangerous.
Pili and Tungai are the targets, you reckon?
But they need to create some momentum through the middle or down the right, and they won't do that going one out. So we need to see some variety here in this last set. Can't be settler trick shot. Almost needs to be a trick shot every time they take the ball up.
They should get 4 or 5 tackles.
Bodies in motion.
To try and score from long range. There's been no way through.
1 out, 4 players in the tackle. It's not going to get them the momentum that they need.
Demaya Kelly signs with the first run of the set. Now they head towards the edge.
Now they need to play off the back of this. It can't be another settler. Go to numbers.
Shakai Tungai finds Amber Pili. Now the ball moves away from them as that defence continues the trend for the Maori Ferns. Copybook tackle. Across the fields. No way through for the Indigenous All-Stars. Seconds ticking away. Final play of the game. And that is a win for the Maori Ferns. A fantastic game of Women's All-Stars Rugby League. And it's the Maori Ferns playing in this All-Stars game for the first time who prevail. 2 tries to 1, 8 points to 4.
Well, a breathless way to begin this All-Stars showdown. The Maori Ferns fighting their way to victory at Amy Park. Only 1 try separating the Maori and the Indigenous women in a tenacious way to start Rugby League for 2019. Sammy Bremner and Michael Ennis. What a result for this first ever Maori side to clinch the Fanning Murphy Trophy, Sam.
Oh, absolutely. And it is the first time that these group of girls have come together. And I don't think it'll be the last. I think the NRLW and some of the club teams will be taking a lot of girls after viewing today.
This concept here to stay. The Maori women, they began with so much gusto. They had the effort to grind away and carve out that victory. 8-4 the final score. But Mick, are you loving what you're seeing?
Absolutely loving the contest. And I thought the Aboriginal girls really fought back hard, got back into the game, obviously at 4-all, but it was the try in the end to Crystal Rota, who was outstanding. You touched on she'd had a tough couple of days coming into the game, and how fitting that she came up with the match-winning try for the Maori Ferns. But Von, there will be some sore girls tomorrow. I'm telling you, that was, you said it started with gusto. That last set had some gusto still in it, and we saw the players lying all over the ground, breaking into cramp. It was played with wonderful passion.
Maybe we should get on Matty Russell's remedy to jump on the pickles. It was for the Indigenous girls, Sammy. Dean Witters, he bravely had 13 of his 17 on representative debut. They will be so much better prepared if the rep call-up should come their way again.
Oh, absolutely. Experience goes a long way in a game of rugby league and in any sport at that, and I think they'll be all better for it. They had someone as great as Beck Young to learn off and to aspire to be like her as they get older, and this will only benefit not only the Indigenous side but the young girls as individuals and as footy players to come.
Yeah, those young girls take so much out of this week, Von, in the sense that NRLW awaits. Obviously, a lot of the girls are still off contract and waiting to see if they get selected into those sides, and tonight, you spoke about at the start about them having an opportunity to put their stamp on representative level. I thought it was a tremendous performance by all of them.
And what does this game say about the quality of women's rugby league, the interest in women's rugby league and the effort behind, you know, what a great match that we've seen this evening?
Oh, absolutely. They were, the best word I can use to describe both teams is relentless. They would not back down, they would not give up. They just kept working for each other, and it was just awesome rugby league to watch. They love to use the ball, which I love to watch rugby league like this. We obviously know they're big and strong and they can barge over the top of each other, but I like to watch them shift the ball and play some football.
Yeah, it was beautiful play there. No block plays, no set-up plays, just as Sammy said, they're just great skill. This was the try that got the Indigenous girls back in the game. Lovely, again, sleight of hand. She's had a wonderful game. Tungai out there on that left edge. So much speed, so much evasive footwork that she showed. It was a superb try, and they got back in the game.
And Sam, a relative newcomer, Shakaya, she was definitely a soccer talent, and lucky for us, she found rugby league.
Yeah, she has, and she's actually been juggling both at the moment. She's just finished playing for the Indigenous soccer team and come over to the Indigenous rugby league team. So hopefully after her awesome experience this week, we can keep her in our sport.
This was the try from Rhoda Von. She was absolutely superb throughout the whole contest, controlled all the momentum, steered her forwards over the advantage line all evening, and on the back of it, the reward. She's got great anticipation out of dummy half, knows when to run the ball, and this time recognised there that it was Quincy Dodd coming out of the tackle, caught offside, and she struck the lethal blow in the end.
Well, only one try is separating them, and
we can't find you the house of your dreams.
Morning. Hi, guys.
Who is that?
Is that a estate agent?
Or make the agent less enthusiastic. The garden any bigger?
South facing? Yeah.
Or help with the neighbours. But at NatWest, we can take the pain out of the paperwork. With the first ever paperless mortgage application. We're always thinking of new ways to make banking easier. NatWest, we are what we do.
Vauxhall Crosslandettes. Less raw, get real.
The Simba mattress survives the most rigorous testing because you do more in bed than just sleep.
You are getting in shape, Bob. You bet, Ted. And I've just got a loan from Likely Loans.
Likely Loans?
Yeah, they work hard to accept you, even if you've been turned away elsewhere, no matter what shape you're in.
Even me?
Yes, Barry, even you. And Likely Loans can tell you straight away if you'll get a loan before you apply. And it doesn't affect your credit score.
At Likely Loans, you could borrow up to £5,000 at 59.9% APR representative. It's quick and you'll get your money the next working day. Apply now at likelyloans.com, whatever financial shape you're in.
Your Schocko Leibniz won't save you now, Kassmeyer.
Schocko moments, detective.
With dark chocolate and crunchy mint pieces, it's not just a biscuit, it's a
Marmiters and the anti-Marmiters. Go back to war for again.
He didn't think it through, did he?
Where do you stand on Bovril? Do you like it?
I never stand on Bovril.
I thought
it's a stupid thing to do. But I quite like the taste of it, I have to say.
And did he put that forward as a serious suggestion? Or was it one of those days where he just really was taking the day off?
5 to 5 on a Friday.
Yeah.
I see.
All right, here's one.
This was a Foreign Office committee he was talking to. It wasn't just something he said in the pub. He was on a think tank, and he was reporting to the Foreign Office, and they were listening to him. Marmite.
Yeah. They should have done it in Ulster.
Yes.
Should have made that the homeland for the Jews. Just for fun.
Like a sort of problem theme park, all in one place.
Well, I think we've come to the end. That leaves the divertissement of the score. We're going to start with tonight's, I'm afraid, didn't do quite as well as anybody else, sir. And it's Clive Anderson with minus 24 points.
Oh, at least. I got many more than that.
And in a very creditable third place, Alan Davis with minus 15. Then comes Sean with minus 8.
Thank you.
With a staggering 0, it's Andy Parsons. But that means tonight's shock winner with 2 points is the audience. Never happened before. Well, on that bombshell, the time has come to leave the shadow of the Valley of Death behind us. Thank you to Clive, Andy, Sean and Alan. And I leave you with this thought, courtesy of the great Johnny Carson. For 3 days after death, hair and fingernails continue to grow, but phone calls taper off. So there's an upside. Do be careful out there. Congratulations.
Coming up next here on Dave, it's time for Special Forces Ultimate Hell Week, where top athletes are pushed to their absolute limit as they endure some of the most grueling challenges the Army could throw at them.
Characters on Dave, sponsored by watchfinder.co.uk, the pre-owned watch specialist.
It's big, but it's not Euro Millions big. This Friday, there are 40 UK millionaires guaranteed.
I was worried that using home hair colour would make my hair feel like straw. I'm always worried in case dye damages it, then it becomes really dry.
Olia is 60% oil-powered, no ammonia.
I feel like Olia has made my hair stronger.
Visibly improves hair quality colour after colour. Be colour safe, always do your patch test.
Said I called it Max, help me feel free. It's how a
wonderfully
regular life could be.
Heat-sensitive Precision Expert. It's waterproof and gently shaves your bikini line with less ingrown hairs than a razor. Its cutting blades don't touch the skin, so less risk of cuts. Change to the adjustable head to trim and shape your eyebrows the way you want. Spectacular gentleness for your delicate areas. Heat-sensitive Precision Expert. Product of the Year 2019.
OK, Sarah, you have exactly 1 minute.
OK, get in the raft, paddle the fox across. No, and I can only take one of them at a time. Drop off the chicken, come back for the fox.
Would that work?
No, that won't work with the gale 9 blowing in. I can't get up there to slow it down. I need to remotely access the turbine, rotate it, and then pitch the blades out of the wind.
Problem solving is a key skill that will set you up for your future career. Learn more with Barclays Life Skills.
Welcome to Betfred Casino, where you'll find over 200 slots, jackpots and table games, including Betfred's £10 million blackjack, the exclusive game where you can win big. Make a hand with 6 cards or more without going bust, and you could win up to £10 million, even if you don't beat the dealer. Betfred's £10 million blackjack. Why play anywhere else?
It's
This is UK TV Play, an on-demand TV app where you can stream original TV shows, catch up, binge on box sets and more. UK TV Play is available for free on your TV, computer and mobile. Whatever you're into, love your thing.
Listen up, comedy enthusiasts. Dave wants you to know all about the brand new original comedies we have to offer. And you thought we just showed repeats.
If you ain't happy with that, that's the door!
The home for original comedy, on Dave and on demand.
Now on Dave, it's time for Special Forces Ultimate Hell Week, the show where top athletes face some of the hardest challenges the army could throw at them. And viewers are advised the show contains strong language.
Characters on Dave, sponsored by watchfinder.co.uk, the pre-owned watch specialist.